Hey y'all, so we are live again this week. Oh God, I completely messed up that intro. So we're gonna pretend I didn't just say that. Let me try that again, even though we're recording and we're already live. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of My Lazy Journey. If you are new here, I am Adriana of the Lazy Millennial. I am the founder and CEO of the Lazy Millennial. And what we do here is help business owners document their businesses so they can stop running their businesses from their head. My Lazy Journey is a spin off of that where I bring on different service providers, not necessarily for business because our home life and business life tend to intertwine. So I bring different guests from businesses and also those for your home life. So just think childcare, organizers, things of that nature. So that is just a little spiel of My Lazy Journey. If you want to learn more or the full details, make sure you watch the very first episode of My Lazy Journey, the whole background and all of that. But today, I want to bring up our guest. I have to do a shameless plug here because Jacqueline is actually my online business manager. So, I'm super excited to have her on because she is amazing. So, I'm going to go ahead and do the usual. I'll introduce her in, and then we can bring her on here and give you all the tea. So, Jacqueline is a native of, oh God, I cannot pronounce that today. Jacqueline is a native of Syracuse, New York. I know I messed it up. Whatever, y'all. Mother, wife, podcast, and audio book lover. She is an online business manager, like I just said, and the CEO and founder of Javon Services. She helps online business coaches and consultants implement, revamp systems, processes, and organizations. So it's no wonder that we get along so great. On the back end of their business, using her 7 years of office management and customer service expertise so that they can give back, they, meaning we, can get back to doing what we love inside our business and making us money. She also offers notary public services to her local community. She is a strong advocate. I gotta say strong really loud. Strong advocate of simplifying things in your business, and she coaches her clients to delegate. Y'all, this is like the whole reasoning behind the Lazy Millennial, by the way. Run their business with confidence and take breaks when needed. Because sometimes, even me, I need that reminder to take breaks. But I'm gonna let her do the talking and bring her up right now. So, without further ado, here is Miss Jacqueline. Hi.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for that intro. That was awesome.
I know, I need you to know the right words and everything.
It's
Okay,
okay. You did great. You did
I know.
great.
I was like, here we go. Well, it's me. It's my personality. So y'all already know. Like y'all see any lives of me, y'all know I stay tripping over stuff. It is what it is. But anyway,
Exactly.
so on to you, Mr. Kia. So how did you get started with being an online business manager? Like, tell us about how that journey went for you.
It's been quite the journey. So when I first started working, basically, I was doing paralegal work. So I came from a legal background, basically doing paralegal work, office management, legal assistance, all of those administrative roles I played for a while. And then after I had my son, I opened my business as a virtual assistant. I was like, I can do all of this from home. I do not need to be in an office. I do not need to be, punching the clock every day. I can be home with my baby and I can still make money. So I started out as a virtual assistant. And with that, I found myself doing a lot more management role things versus just tasks and completing projects. So I was like, you know what? I can still implement everything that I learned in the legal field by just simply calling myself a manager, doing
Right.
management things, and overseeing things versus just completing a task or just doing something that was assigned to me. I would be the one doing the assigning, I would be the one doing the coaching, I would be the one, just kind of making things easier and simpler for business owners because as entrepreneurs and as solopreneurs, it's so easy to get sidetracked and to get bogged down with different things. So I was like, you know what? There is a niche for that. And I think that I would be the perfect person for that. So that's kind of how I landed to an online business manager. I still do some stuff locally, but mostly I like to work with online entrepreneurs and business owners just because they don't really, some of them haven't really been in the work field for a while, or they're just starting out in their business, so they don't really know what they want to do or what route they want to go. So
Yeah.
it definitely helps, and it lets me expand outside of my community. I can work with people nationally, I can work with people internationally, so it just gives me the opportunity to spread the word of organization and just kind of getting things, all of our ducks in a row.
I love it. So going a little off the record. So with I know you mentioned like you were doing things as a manager, like in a manager role. I was trying to be fancy, say the technical term, but that didn't come out right. But you said you do things in manager role. For those watching, what would you say in your own words is the difference between a virtual assistant and an online business manager?
I get that question a lot. That's a really good question. So, for virtual assistants, they are more so to carry out those daily tasks that you hate doing. So, checking emails, responding to emails, answering the phone, sending out messages to clients, checking in with clients, social media, things that kind of pull away from your day every day. And they're mostly like one and done. Like, okay, I can do this once today and then once tomorrow. Like something that's very easy, very consistent. And then for a online business manager, we would act as if we were the business owner, not to take over for you guys,
Right.
but what we would do is step in and say, okay, what would you like to delegate to your team today? And then we would take that and start delegating those things and doing the check ins to make sure that they're being done, or simply just completing the task if it wasn't done. We also help with documenting the systems within the business, so making sure that every step is documented or recorded, so that when you do pull on a new team member, they're aware of how you run your business. Making sure things working with your project managers and your project assistants that you hire, just making sure that they know they have everything that they need. I'm your right hand person, so I would be the one to know, okay, she likes it like this, or no, we're not going to go with that. We're going to go with this because this is what her changes or what her wishes are. Just so that you don't have to step in all of the time. And that's not to say that you won't have that option. It's just that it cuts out that whole having to go back and forth. I get all of the information for you and bring it back to you. We make a decision together, and then I kind of delegate that to your team and make sure that is documented. And there's other
So
online business managers who do different things too. Those are just mostly my focuses, is making sure that your workflows look good and that things are easy for you and your team, so that there's no friction and things aren't, the ball isn't being dropped consistently and things like that.
I love it. So you answered like two questions for me. So what I'm going to ask you next is, so thank you first of all, thank you for clearing that up because a lot of people get online business, as you know,
Mhm.
online business manager and virtual assistants mixed up. So thank you for clarifying that in simple terms on top of that. So and what? So let's say someone's like, oh, I actually need an online business manager. What do they need in order, ideally? What do they need in order to work with you?
So ideally, I like to ask for clients to have a good picture of the things they need managed. I actually just had a discovery call today. She was like, I don't really know what you do, but can you tell me? And I kind of gave her some examples. So what that is just you want to make sure that, okay, what is causing me to not be able to be productive? Okay, I tried to delegate this to this person and they couldn't get it done and I didn't hear back from them. And then what I would do is put in a microscope and say, okay, well, it sounds like you might need a task management system, or it sounds like maybe you got to check to see what her hours are and then post them somewhere, so that when you do when you do assign assignments, you'll know when to hear from her, when to expect for things to get done. um but yeah, that's basically what I would need, is just, how many people are on your team, what areas are you looking to have managed. That can go from workflow management, calendar management, team management. Um, it can also go from, hey, I just need to be managed myself. Can you look at my calendar? Can you tell me what I got today? What kind of breaks do I have? Do I have time to take on another client? Do I have enough room? Things like that, just kind of making sure that all of your ducks are in a row. So that's the most one. Typically, when I onboard clients, I allow them to pick 3 to 4 areas that they want me to focus on within the month that we're working together. And then usually once it's all set up, we start to work on other things within the background. Like, okay, I need copy for my email management, or I need my social media stuff scheduled. I don't know. Should I hire a social media manager?
Right.
Should I just hire somebody off of Fiverr? Like things like that.
That's really helpful. So
Yeah.
you do all this stuff for other business owners, like you help them manage teams. So what do you do to implement, I call it laziness, or what do you do to delegate things in your own life?
In my own life, I try and have templates for everything. So I will have a template for any and everything. If I could have templates for my text messages, I would. But basically, I try and minimize the amount of time that I'm using to do smaller things. So if I can find a template to write out an email, I'm going to use that over and over and over again. I also like to use my calendar. So I have these time blocks in my calendar where I'll say, okay, I'm going to work for 3 hours today. I'm going to block that off on my calendar. Nobody can book with me. Nobody can, pick up the phone to call me, like things like that. Just setting those boundaries within my regular work day is really helpful for me. And having those business hours are what kind of allow me to lax a little bit. Like some days, most days out of the week, I probably only spend about 2 hours max on business stuff for me. And that's the max. The minimum is 30 minutes. I could spend literally 30 minutes per
That's
week
awesome.
on what I need for my business, and that's it.
I
Simply
love
because
it.
I already had systems set up. I did have a really great virtual assistant a couple of years ago. So she set up a lot of things for me that I'm still benefiting off of to this day. Um, and that's kind of how I've been able to live lazily and not have to be on on what is it, like on my toes all the time. I kind of laid out everything. SOPs help a lot too, because I'll get like a random question. Oh, do you do this? Well, how much do you charge for that? Like kind of thing. So I started building my SOPs into Trello. So now I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. Let me go check. Let me go check and see really quick. And I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Let me change that. Okay, this is what we're doing. Um, Definitely those 3 things. So SOPs, calendar, and what was the other one? Templates.
That's
Templates. Sorry, I've got
awesome.
like pregnancy brain, so I forget.
Um, you're you're excused for that reason and that reason alone. You're excused. But okay, so do you have any outside being an online business manager and helping clients? Do you have any other projects that you do, or do you have anything coming up that we should know about?
Yeah, so I do offer social media management for 2 to 3 platforms by project. Typically, I like to take those projects and put my all into social media management, and that's mostly just community engagement and building community through graphics, through copy, through nurturing leads and things like that. So that's something I also offer. I also offer CRM setup with HoneyBook. So that's something that, if you say, okay, this is what I want, this is where I want all my contacts, this is where I want all my contracts, things like that, then I would set that up for them. And then upcoming, I'm actually taking a long break because
Well deserved, what much needed. And I'm glad you are.
yes, I am taking a long break because I am having my second child. He's due August 31st, but my doctors are thinking he's gonna come early, so he may come early August. I'm not sure yet, but I'll have to take off a few weeks to kind of bond with him and get my toddler situated with a new baby, and so it's gonna be for a while. I'm gonna be going dark, but I'll be back in the fall, and my goal is to have a mentorship program towards the end of the
Ooh.
year for business owners. I feel like a lot of business owners who do scale really well in their business struggle with just like the leadership role, and being a leader to their team, and how they can draw everybody in, and how not to like overstep boundaries and things like that. And I think the mentorship program would help with something like that a lot, because
I
they're not
love that.
necessarily newbies, they're not necessarily like seasoned, but they have, this energy and they want to be able to lead their team. They just don't know what kind of tools they can use. And that's kind of where I want to come in and be able to help.
I love that. I'm super excited. I'm happy for you for doing that because it's much needed.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm
Okay, so
excited
lastly,
for
right?
it.
And lastly, even though people are gonna have the links, please let us know where you're most active on social media. I know you're about to go ghost, but in the meantime, when you pop back up, where are you most active and where can we connect with you?
I am most active on Facebook. So you can find me on Facebook, under Jakia Durham Kelly, or through my Javon Services page. I've been a lot more active on my personal page, just trying to promote my brand. So you'll probably find more tips and information through my personal page. So that'll probably be the best place to start. And then you could also find me on Instagram on Javon Services, or LinkedIn, Jakia Durham Kelly, or the Javon Services page.
Okay. All right. So that's all I pretty much got for you tonight. I really appreciate you for coming on here. And I appreciate you guys. If you have any other questions for her, especially online business manager, virtual assistants, I feel like this conversation is always just up in the air and people still getting this confused. So I'm really happy having more OBMs coming out. And also, hopefully, we can save other virtual assistants that are running as online business manager, but still leaving themselves as a virtual assistant. But that's another conversation for another day. But anywho, thank you guys. If you have any comments, please leave them. I'll make sure the links are posted. And y'all have an amazing night.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.